that was a hard-fought game. I think we won that with our defense and then timely plays offensively were there. They're tough defensively to figure out. We don't play against that a lot, and at times we struggled but made enough offensive plays, but certainly rallied defensively, in the right plays. And I take a little exception. We're the only team in the tournament playing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I don't know how fair that is. So we got 3 games that go in there. But no, I can't tell you how thankful and excited I am that it was a hard-fought game. It was a knuckle buster or whatever you want to call it, and we had to fight. And so again, these guys found enough, and we know we can play more efficient and better in some ways, but the defense carried us.
Thank you. All right, questions. Let's start on the right side here, third row and center aisle, and then we'll come to the front row on the left.
For Ty and Kihei, Coach called the timeout with, I think, 4:42 to go. Oregon didn't score another basket. I think they hit 4 free throws after that, but they didn't score again from the field. What was talked about defensively during that timeout, and what do you think tightened up over those final almost 5 minutes?
Ty, please.
We called timeout. Coach called timeout. He called a set for us to run, and then he said, but what matters is our defense. That's what carried us all year, and that's what's going to take us as far as we want to go.
Yeah, I feel like we just got stops on defense, and then we rebounded well down the stretch.
Hey, Ty, Gene Wong, Washington Post. So the 3-pointer you made to put you guys ahead for a good 48-45, can you kind of take us through that, what was going through your mind, or were you just set on shooting that 3 when you got the ball?
Honestly, right now, I'm just thinking about the one I missed after that. That would have really sealed the game, so I want that one back. But we were doing good. We started doing a better job of moving, and Kie found me in the right spot, and I think Dre or Mamadi set a great screen, and my teammates did a great job of finding me in the right spot.
Kyle, can you just speak to what Kihei gave you in terms of lift scoring and everything else he was able to do tonight?
Yeah, he's been tremendous all year, especially as of late, really heating up the ball and keeping guys in front. He did a great job on a tremendous point guard in Peyton. Knocked down some timely shots, and when he was going to free throw line, I told him to ice it, and this is what he came to Virginia for.
Comfortable, obviously, in games like this. You guys are very comfortable in these kinds of games. How much of an advantage is that?
Yeah, I think we're in March, and it's 40-minute territory, as Coach always tells us. So it helps that we try to stay calm under pressure, and that we try to execute and get stops defensively, no matter what the score is or how hectic the game is going. So that'll always be in our advantage, and we're going to try to continue to bring that to every game.
Okay. Left side.
Yeah, this is for Kyle. Kyle, how rewarding or whatever was it to hit that first 3 and then come back and hit the second one?
Yeah, felt great. Anytime I can, get Ty or Kihei an assist, I think they always appreciate that. So, I'm going to keep shooting. I don't really feel like I'm ever out of rhythm. So as long as they have confidence in me, I'll always have confidence in myself.
More questions for the Virginia student athletes? Okay, right side, back row, center aisle.
Yeah, Kihei, what was your look there getting so many open threes? It looked like that Oregon's plan was to let you shoot the ball while they overplayed Ty and Kyle in those situations.
Yeah, just trying to take my open shot when teams try to play off of me, and then if I could hit a couple, then it frees up Ty and Kyle.
Back to the front row here on the left.
Hey, DeAndre, how would you assess that last 5.5+ minutes defensively for you guys when you really locked down on Oregon?
I think we played great. We were communicating, we were scrambling, we were keeping guys in front, we were rebounding. We were just doing all the things that we practice every day. So, I think those last 5 minutes just shows how great we could be.
Back row on my right.
For any of you, what was the mentality? What was going through your head coming out of the locker room? Did you feel like you got the game in hand at the end of the first half? You're up 30-22, and then at the 8-minute timeout, Oregon pulls ahead. I mean, are you thinking you had the game under control coming out of the locker room? I mean, what was going through your mind during halftime, and then when Oregon makes a comeback?
Ty, please.
No, the game is never out of reach until the final buzzer goes off. They're such a capable team, such a great defensive team, and you saw how they came out, and we didn't match their energy early. We got a little loose with the ball. They made some great adjustments, so the game's never out of reach until that final buzzer goes off. I hope that answers your question.
Let's go to the right side here.
Kyle or DeAndre, in that last 4-minute stretch, it seemed like Oregon was really, maybe not necessarily in panic mode, but it seemed like they would rush down the court and just try to take the first good shot. What do you do defensively to kind of force them into something like that?
Yeah, we just try to, after we get a shot up, we try to get back. The bigs will crash, but the guards always try to get back. We try to set our defense. We ride on the board before every game, backpack and rebound. So those are things that are never going to change. And, as long as we, carry those forward, we'll always have a chance.
Okay, let's go back here on the right and then to the left side here.
Ty, all 5 starters played at least 35 minutes. You didn't get any scoring from the bench, and obviously it was a very competitive game. What have you learned from NCAA, ACC, any other tournaments in terms of getting a day of rest and coming back? What is the challenge kind of physically facing your team right now?
We've been preparing for this during the regular season too. Coach said he looked at the schedule when it first came out, and he saw 3 Saturday and Monday games, and he was upset at first. And then, to start March off, he was happy because it prepared us for this tough team, one day of preparation, and another tough team. So we've been preparing for this all season. The ACC did a great job of preparing us for this moment.
Yeah, DeAndre, did you feel at all uncomfortable starting at 10:30 or whenever that game got underway, just waiting around all day?
It was different for us, but, at the end of the day, it's a game, and we were going to be ready.
Okay, one more question over here on the left.
Ty, you said last week after the Oklahoma game how excited you were to play in a Sweet 16. You never played in one before. What does it feel like now that you'll be going to an Elite Eight?
Very similar, about a tiny bit more exciting, and just another opportunity to play with these guys and play for Coach Bennett and the rest of the coaches, and just it's going to be I'm pretty sure it's going to be an amazing environment. So just the games you dream of as a kid.
All right, good deal, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Now we'll go to the floor for questions for Coach. Over here on the right side, and then we'll go in the corner.
Tony.
12:46.
You heard me ask the players, but what was your message at that timeout with 4:42, and how well did they respond defensively to then, I don't think, let Oregon hit a shot after that?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I said, but we tried to draw an action for a shot. I thought we were a little winded, and that's why I called the timeout to rest them, and I knew we'd have to take care of the ball. And I think that was the key, only 8 turnovers against them. And then just say, do not give them. We talked about rebounding defensively and not giving them anything easy. It's just getting our defense set when a shot goes up, get those guys back and make them make tough shots. And we had a couple little adjustments defensively, but it was nothing too out of the ordinary, but it was to rest them, get a look at a shot, which we didn't get a great look, if I recall. No, we didn't. And then just reset, and we score, stop, or stop, score. It was kind of one of those games, and it was a little more stop, not score, stop, not score, but it was what was required.
Far right side, Coach.
Coach, you mentioned they're a little tricky defensively. What were they doing to frustrate you guys, and are you worried it's a blueprint for future opponents?
Well, they run whether it's a matchup zone or a switching man, usually their 4 guys are 6'9", or they're long, and then with Peyton. And it's just something you don't see a lot of in how they do it. And I thought we were a little stagnant early, and they did a good job taking away a couple things. We wanted to get movement against it and just try to run somewhat of a man-to-man offense. And, it was kind of hit or miss, and we caught our rhythm. hit a couple shots, started attacking off the dribble in the paint, and I thought that helped. But we never really, I would say, solved it offensively. You got to probably make some shots, and again, 9 of 33 from 3 is not it's not probably too good. And we did get some good looks that we just didn't knock down. Kyle, he took, we maybe took a couple early ones that weren't wise, but after we got some pretty good threes and just didn't knock them down.
Left side, center aisle.
Yeah, they had, I think, 4 starters, 6'9" or taller. How do you feel you neutralized that? You were leading them in rebounding, I know, at the half, 30-22, I think.
Yeah. Well, again, that's what makes their defense. It's unique. They switch like sizes. But we just talked about trying to block out. A couple times we did not, but if they went inside, we tried to trap the post. And, it was just make them make plays over the top and then fight. I thought Mamadi's rebounding was significant in that game. We needed that. And then, everybody else, Ty came back and had 6 rebounds. The guards needed to rebound. And it was just kind of a slugfest. It felt like it, and it was sort of last man standing.
Our right side.
Tony, kind of what I asked the players, when defense is kind of part of your DNA, as it is with these guys, how much does that help when you're in a kind of a game like this where it's pretty ugly?
Yes. Yeah. It's, offense can come and go, and they're really good defensively, and we stepped up defensively, so you just hang on. You hang on and hang your head on that defense, and hopefully you get enough offense. Again, it was, ugly's in the eye of the beholder. Maybe it wasn't great, but I thought it was pretty good looking for us defensively. And then, offensively there was some struggles, but you got to hang in there defensively, and that's how we're built. We will have a test against, you look at the offensive output that Purdue had and how they move, and I know Matt, and I think he's one of the finest coaches, and so is Coach Barnes. That was a hard-fought game, but they're tricky. But we'll get on to that one. But your defense had to outlast them because it wasn't going to be our offense that was going to win that.
Okay, we've got one more on the left side and then one here in the center aisle.
Tony, DeAndre said those last 5 minutes were an example of how great you guys can be. What were you seeing over those last 5 minutes?
I mean, we were trying to be in position, trying to slide hard, make them shoot contested shots, one and done them when they got a shot up, rebound, and just fight for position. Just kept talking about just fight, and don't give them anything easy, and fatigue comes into it at the end. The shots aren't quite as clean and as easy, and I thought we did a good job of keeping the ball in front, helping each other, scrambling, as he said, and that's what helped us advance from being down in the first round, and then we started scrambling and made it tough. Same thing against Oklahoma, and then I thought it carried over. At least, you watch tape and you'll figure out if it was, but it felt like that's what carried us to this point.
Okay, last question right here.
I know your dad has said before sometimes he stays in the hotel for big games, but he was here sitting behind the bench.
Yeah.
One, what's it like when he is here in the building, and would you have liked to have given him maybe a less stressful game?
That's great that he came. I wasn't sure if he would, but I just saw him when I walked out. He was sitting there, and he's been through this. He, ironically, he went against Coach Katie in 2000, and the trip when he got the team, or the Badgers went to the Final Four. But I'm just thankful that my whole family, for all of us, when your family's right there, that's significant, and he's had a huge influence. And I'll probably get chewed out when I get back for the bad offense. We'll see and all that stuff. But I'm just glad he's there, and it'll be a mystery if he'll show up for the next one. I know that.
Thank you.